Welcome to today's webinar. It is such a pleasure to have you all here with us when we delve further into the emerging trends of the EV ecosystem. Hi, my name is Siddharth, and today we have with us our guest, Mr. Shantanu Mishra. Shantanu is the Chief Business Officer of TelioEV, a company focused on providing a SaaS platform for EV charging stations. He graduated from the Indian School of Business and is passionate about using sustainable solutions to reduce India's carbon footprint. With TelioEV, he aims to drive the adoption of electric vehicles and other renewable energy technologies to promote a cleaner and more sustainable future. So, welcome, Shantanu, to this webinar. We look forward to having this conversation with you and enlighten ourselves with your expertise and profound experience.
Thank you, Siddharth, for having me, and it's a pleasure.
So moving forward in this webinar, let me begin with the questions, and I'll start with the basic question of our topic. So what are some emerging trends in the EV ecosystem?
The major emerging trend of the EV ecosystem that I see is the increased adoption of EVs. Right now, if you go on the road, you can see at most 3 or 4 or even 5 EVs, which roughly collaborates with the 5% EV penetration in India. By 2030, I feel that this EV penetration will reach at least 40%. The other advancement or the emerging trend that I see is of battery advancements. The batteries currently are safe enough, but they're going to get safer. There will be different types of batteries. I can name just one of them, like solid state batteries that will come up. And there are rapid advancements, rapid research happening in this area. The third aspect that I see is of the expanding EV charging infrastructure. Now, currently, the EV charging infrastructure is the major point that plays in the mind of EV owners or prospective buyers when they are buying their EVs. Indian government has mandated, or rather, let's say, thought or predicted that it should reach the number of charging stations should reach around 20 lakhs by 2030. So these are the three major trends I see in the EV ecosystem. That's it.
Okay, thank you for answering that. And with this, I would like to ask you that how is the EV market expected to grow in the coming years?
The EV market is 100% going to experience a significant growth. There are indications that it might reach around 70% of annual sales by 2030. This is driven by a combination of various factors: government regulations, falling battery costs, increased consumer demands for environmental friendly transportations.
Okay. And how are automakers adapting to the shift towards the EVs?
Major automakers are hedging their bets. They are on both sides of the game. IC engines are there to stay for some time, and companies like Toyota do feel that they can still get more juice out of these engines. On the other hand, companies like Maruti are hedging their bets in the sense that they are uh, promoting hybrid vehicles. But along with all this, they are also talking to major battery manufacturers. They have set up their own R&D facilities. They are trying to find out ways and the optimal car configuration which will appeal to the masses. Because these are mass manufacturers. They will not be satisfied with, say, 1,000 or 2,000 sales. They will go for at least a car which can give them 10,000 units per month.
Okay. And I would like to ask you that can you speak to the challenges involved in building and maintaining a robust network of EV charging stations and how software solutions can help address these challenges?
Well, uh, installing a network of charging stations requires significant infrastructure development. Uh, right now, there are no systems of permits as such, but we see some regulatory framework coming up. Year after year, there will be electrical upgrades, there will be hardware installation costs. This will be time consuming and costly. As the demand grows, right now there is not much demand for charging stations, and uh, the utilization is not that high. But as EV owners grow, the demand management will come into picture. There will be peak load management. We might see some congestions somewhere. You will also see incentivization for different times of the day for this for the charging stations. Similarly, payment and billing will also emerge as a challenge. There are at least 5 or 6 or maybe even more than a dozen payment systems. Integration with all these payment systems. Of course, there is UPI, and nobody doubts that every billing and payment system will converge finally into UPI. But we'll have to see how UPI transactions still hold themselves without attracting any user fees during these years. There is maintenance as well. But I'm not that concerned about maintenance because uh, EV charging infrastructure also does not have any uh, moving parts as such. So you will have, but yes, due to its sheer scale and sheer numbers, there will come up maintenance companies, third-party maintenance companies with AMCs, which will help keep these charging stations up to date. Talking about software, uh, software can really help in this case due to its sheer you know scalability and its security features. Softwares will have to adapt to the numbers that are going to surely increase. Uh, there will be demand management, and software will help over here, like I said, to incentivize off peak hours and to disincentivize peak hours by simply just increasing the rates or letting the users know when are the lean periods of that particular charging station. Billing and payment is directly related to our software. So software will be able to uh, let's say integrate all these complex and disparate billing and payment systems. That's it.
Okay. And can you also tell what are some challenges facing the EV ecosystem?
Currently, I can talk about the limited charging infrastructure in some areas. There is this overwhelming range anxiety among consumers. There's a high cost of EVs compared to traditional IC engine vehicles. These are concerns, and there are additional concerns raised by critics about the environmental impact of battery production and their subsequent disposal. Uh, the lithium is one material that is most talked about, and it is a critical raw material. We will also face challenges over its mining, its availability.
Okay. So, so speaking of lithium, I was just going through the news the other day, and I got to know about that in Kashmir, they must have found lithium mine, so they are working on it. And if it is true, then it will reduce the major cost of the battery, and it will also reduce the cost of EV system in India. It will be good for India.
Yeah, to that point, I would like to say that in the total cost of the battery production, of raw material usage, lithium is just 1 to 2%. The other materials, the other 98% are readily available in our country.
Okay.
If we could somehow see to it that we reduce the cost production of those materials, you can easily see that, reducing the cost of the 98% of the material will be far more optimal than running after that 1 or 2%.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, and what are some of the key technical challenges involved in interchanging EV charging infrastructure?
The key challenges that I see over here is like hardware compatibility. There will be far too many number of different chargers straddling the whole country, from 7 kilovolts, 22 kilovolts to 30 to 60 DC. Uh, we'll have to arrive at an optimal charging configuration, and this will be one of the major challenges for the charge point operators. Which configuration to keep to satisfy the demand of consumers? It will, of course, depend upon the trends that they see. Other part is the power supply. Uh, as more and more EVs arrive, there will be a strain on the power supply. An EV is roughly, let's say, around 3 or 4 ACs running together. So if every home had an EV, the power supply will be at a pressure, and India will have to step up its game and generate far more electricity than it is doing now to service all these EVs. Network connectivity is one more thing that I foresee. Charging stations need to be connected to a network to provide real-time monitoring and data analytics. However, connectivity can be challenging at remote or rural areas. The network downtime can affect the reliability of the charging infrastructure. Standardization is one more thing that I foresee happening, and it could be, I can't say it as a challenge because the problem has been effectively answered. The OCPP and the OCPI protocols are going to be the dominant protocols here, uh, due to the sheer fact that they are just open. And we will see that these kind of protocols, these two protocols will dominate the whole EV market. And it is good as well. Again, maintenance and repair. Due to the sheer numbers of the charging stations, we'll have to have dedicated maintenance and repair companies doing their job, keeping these charging stations up and running all the time. Integrating these EV charging infrastructure, it requires a holistic approach to address these technical challenges. A robust software platform that provides real-time monitoring, billing and payment processing, integration with other systems, it can really help address these challenges and provide a seamless user experience, which is what we all want in the end.
Totally agree with that. And speaking of the challenges, what are the main challenges facing the EV ecosystem?
Everyone in this industry refers to it as the chicken and the egg problem. But I think we have an answer now. For EVs to truly become mainstream, we'll have to solve the infrastructure problem first. Today's EV owner is beset by range anxiety, then that inconsistent charging experience, the hard to find charger, and a hard to find charger on his planned route. If suppose he wants to go from, say, Hyderabad to Mumbai, there are dedicated e-corridors like Jaipur, Delhi, and Mumbai, Surat, but these are only two, and we require many such corridors in the coming years. At the other end, the charging station owner, they are facing challenges in attracting EV owners to their sites and managing their multi-location charges. There is a lack of unified control and management. There are standardization challenges, complex payment integration, control issues, lack of communication. All these are hindering their efforts to provide seamless charging experience to the EV owners.
Okay, and what are some of the biggest opportunities and challenges facing the EV charging industry over the next decade? And how is your company positioning itself to address these trends?
The opportunities, of course, are that there is a growing demand of EVs. Uh, EVs do not have any tailpipe emission, and what our users and communities see is that there will be lesser pollution. Uh, in addition to passenger cars, we'll see a faster adoption of EVs in public transport, buses, three-wheelers, two-wheelers, public uh, goods carriers. They'll be faster to turn to EVs because of the sheer economies as such. The biggest criticism of EVs is about they still being powered by coal plants and diesel plants. We'll see that the government thrust for generation of electricity through renewable means. This will help us integrate our charging stations with renewable energy sources. We might not know where the electricity is actually coming from, but self-declaration might help. So an EV owner might, will be very happy to know that yes, the electricity that he is drawing from the grid is coming from a renewable power source or otherwise. The challenges is again, I can repeat, ad addendum, ad infinitum about the infrastructure investment. The FAME 2 mission talks about a charging station on either side of the highway every 92 kilometers, and this will require significant investment. Standardizations, as I've already spoken about, the OCPP and the OCPI protocol, they will help in the massive standardization of all the EV infrastructure and communication with them, between them. But due to being connected on a network and due to being interoperable, there will be cybersecurity challenges. There will be a constant security challenge to these networks, and we will have to stand up and be ahead of the hackers or any other non-state actors, as you know, which can down the grid, down the network in no time. TelioEV, I can say that it is positioning itself to address these challenges by addressing innovative and scalable EV charging solutions. We are focusing on open, interoperable, and scalable solutions which are compatible with multiple standards as of now. We can do the energy management for you, the demand management for you, the customer relationship. Additionally, we are exploring new charging solutions that leverage renewable energy sources, a new business model that promote the widespread adoption of EVs.
Okay, so what role do you see renewable energy sources playing in the future of the EV ecosystem?
India's electricity generation mix is still dominated by coal, which accounts for around 72.8%, or maybe coal and diesel then account for almost 80% of India's total installed capacity as of March 2021. The remaining is split between renewables, nuclear energy, gas, and hydroelectric powers. India will, and the government has planned to install around 450 gigawatts of renewable energy capacity by 2030. This will go a long way in convincing skeptics of the ultimate pollution benefits of EVs. After all, EVs are only as clean as the source of electricity that they taken from. If the source itself is being generated from coal, no, it's like there is no. We're just pushing up pollution upstream rather than seeing it downstream. From an EV perspective, uh, knowing that yes, your EV is being powered by renewable sources gives an additional confidence that yes, you are choosing a better alternative. I have a better alternative for the planet and for yourself. As it is, you can see that EVs do not have any tailpipe emission. This will significantly reduce pollution in the cities. And EVs are quieter as well. that helps in reducing the sound pollution, which we know has gone off the charts currently in all the cities of India. That's it.
Uh, okay, so I guess we have covered the emerging trends of the EV ecosystem for this webinar. And thank you, Shantanu, for your graceful presence and for this wonderful session. So I would like to thank everyone for their patience and interest for this webinar. Keep sending your questions through us through LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Thank you, and have a nice day, everyone.
Thank you, Sid, for having me over here. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Shantanu.